Hey guys, Miles here, Miles More Motivation. I hope you are well and safe at home. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about why it's so important to appreciate the things that you've got. You know, the world right now, if you're watching this video live, is in what's been called a lockdown. And I thought it was really interesting. I read something this week that said just that language, the lockdown, is really powerful. Because one of the things I've learned is that the language that we use in any given situation, the meaning that we associate in any given situation, can determine how you feel. Like, it can determine everything, whether you think something is good or bad. You know, in one part of the world, rain that's not been there for months can be seen as a celebration, right? If it rains in certain parts of Africa that haven't had rain, it's euphoric because it can solve a drought, it can solve hunger, it can solve a famine. Yet in England, we will complain about the rain if you're in England. If you're in the States, you know, maybe you complain. If you're in England, you live in Manchester, you're so used to rain that you forgot what sunshine actually is, right? Big love to my friends and brothers and sisters in Manchester. But my point is, it's so important to know that, you know, the language such as lockdown and, you know, rain being deemed by the media as miserable weather, it's really powerful. And what I want to do with you in this video is really just kind of share with you something that I've found has really helped me shape my meaning in this situation. You know, if you go back 8 or 9 years, I was the kind of person that was always miserable. I went through bouts of depression, mood swings like the weather, right? You know, like one minute I'm happy, the next minute I'm low, next minute I'm happy, next minute I'm low again. You didn't know where you were coming or going with me. And it wasn't until I started doing this thing that I'm going to share with you that everything kind of changed. You see, I shared a post this week on Facebook where I basically said, how about we see this so-called lockdown as an all-inclusive holiday resort? I said, rather than seeing it as a lockdown and as a restriction, how about seeing it as an all-inclusive holiday resort? You know those all-inclusive holiday resorts, the ones where you're in the middle of nowhere, the ones where you physically can't leave the resort, but like you go out at the resort, unless it's like on a shuttle bus to a trip 3 hours away, you turn out at the resort, there's a few sheep, and there's like a convenience store down the road selling bottles of water for like $12 because it's the only thing within 20 kilometers, right? So the point here I'm making is, I shared this post on social media and I basically said, how about we see it as like, it's actually an all-inclusive resort. Meaning, when you're on an all-inclusive resort that's in the middle of nowhere, ultimately the reason you went there was for as much food and drink as you could possibly have, and quality uninterrupted time with no distractions from the outside world with those you love. And I thought about it this past few days, and I thought about, you know, on a walk, on our one allocated walk of the day, I thought about it with Sati, and I said, this is a bit like being an all-inclusive resort holiday. And Sati was like, well, no, it's not, because the weather's not. And I said, bear with me, right? I said, this is a bit like being an all-inclusive resort because I'm not thinking about anything other than you and me and Sage. I'm not thinking about anything other than like what I'm going to eat later. I'm not thinking about anything other than like just what we're going to do when we get in. Like, the world has literally stopped. And for me, one of the reasons why I go on an all-inclusive holiday is to just stop, to just rest and reflect. Now, I know that there are things right now that you may be going, yeah, but Miles, you know, my business is closed and I've got no money coming in. I go, I get that. We all are going through something similar. And, you know, there's a great saying I love, which is like, focus on controlling the things that are in your control, which in most cases, in this situation, is your state, your mood, your emotional well-being, and your level of presence, and everything else, block it out. You see, if your business is closed right now, you physically can't do anything about that. You may be able to create some online way of delivering your service, so there is things within your control. But what I'm saying here is, when you change the way if you change the way you look at this situation, and instead of seeing it as, oh, you know, like some of our neighbours, you know, how are you getting on? They're like, oh, feel trapped. You know, I'm like, well, Nelson Mandela spent 24 years in prison, right? He was physically trapped. At least you can go to Tesco. You're not actually trapped, right? It's a lack of perspective. One man's miserable weather is another man's solution to famine. So the thing that I want to leave you with, that I want you to start from tomorrow, I want you to do this for 7 days. I'd like for you to direct message me and tell me that you've done this. Is I want you to do what I call an appreciation log. And what this appreciation log is going to include is you're going to write down, first thing in the morning, for 7 days, you're going to write down 10 things that you're appreciative of. So your appreciation log, all you've got to do for 7 days is write every morning 10 things that you're appreciative of. You're appreciative of the house that you live in, hot water. You're appreciative of your kids. You're appreciative of your wife. Maybe you're not appreciative of your kids. Maybe they're driving you mad. Download them a new Xbox game. They'll be fine. Whatever it is, right? 7 days, you're going to do an appreciation log of 10 things that you're appreciative for. That's it. And you're going to direct message me every day and show me your appreciation log. So I'm physically going to coach you and hold you accountable for the next 7 days to do this. So, last thing I'm going to say is, if you found this useful, then share the video. That's all I'm asking, is that if you found this video useful, if it's giving you a new way of looking at the situation, maybe you're like, you know what, actually maybe it's not a lockdown, maybe I can choose to see it differently. Actually, I'd have loved this much quality time with family 3 months ago. I'm going to enjoy it. Because eventually I'll be back at work and I'll be wishing it was the all-inclusive lockdown again, right? So all I ask is, if you enjoyed this video, you found it useful, do the appreciation log for 7 days and share the video. That's it. Anyway, that's it. Miles More Motivation, over and out. Choose how you see this situation. Choose it wisely, because how you feel, how you deal with this situation from an emotional perspective is ultimately going to dictate how you feel in any given situation that comes in that you didn't expect in a future point of your life. That's it. Share the video. See you soon. Take care.